Paul McKee, Midge McKee with us. Special hour talking about the Northside Redevelopment project that has been years in the making. When is it officially starting? Has it already started?
Well, November 29th, believe it or not, of 2013 is day one of the Northside Regeneration Project, because what ended up happening after the Supreme Court ruled in early April, we then had to go back and fix the dates and things in the TIF, and then we had to go back to the Board of Aldermen and get all that approved. All of that got done and signed, and it became law November 29th of 2013.
And when does the shovel go in the ground? What's the first phase? What are we going to start to see?
That's the hardest thing to define, but hopefully this summer, and maybe even earlier in the spring, what we're doing right now is we have to get the first phase of the TIF financed, which is in excess of $100 million of phase one of the TIF, which is no small thing to get done.
Which you're going to have to go to Wall Street and then sell those bonds?
Exactly.
Is that right?
Sell TIF notes, yes. And we've been working with Stiefel on that in the city of St. Louis very closely. That process will take us through probably the June, July setting, because the bonds and everything, the TIF notes are going to all have to be approved at City Hall as well. In the process, we're also doing projects. And originally, there was an A, B, C, D, and bottle district areas of this TIF, and we've got projects ready to start in every area of the redevelopment.
If Stan Kroenke came to you and said, I need a place for a football stadium, what would you say?
We'd work hard to accommodate him.
Yes.
Very, very, very much so, because that kind of life in the stadium, in the heart of the city, I think is very, very important.
Even though the Edward Jones Dome now, you can question whether or not. Has that been a boon to that downtown area?
Yes, I believe so. And almost all the new stadiums have been done touching the old stadiums. And what we would be in favor of is an open stadium that's more in an urban kind of a setting. We would love even to see it with some soccer in there or European football on the inside, because that's really a community builder as well, and that would also bring more events.
So you have parceled enough land together that you could actually create enough space to put an NFL stadium there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How much, I know the city owns a lot of land that has sort of, the owners walked away. Did you get any of that land, and how did that, and is there a possibility you can take over that land?
No, take over is not the proper word.
Oh, sorry.
The city has
start another controversy.
The city has sold it to us, so we have bought. I can't remember the number of the parcels. It was over 1,000 parcels that the city took back, and we paid over $5.2 million for it from the city.
That's interesting, because when I was living in the city, the single developer, who was not a very big guy, I believe the city gave him that property, the CDA, the Community Redevelopment, the LRA,
Land Redevelopment.
Gave it to him for $1.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they charged you $5 million for it.
$5.2 million.
Boy, yes. you need a better negotiator.
You're looking at him. Right.
But it also goes to show you that. So that's why you want to keep it quiet. One, and two, you are hurt by wanting to do more.
That's correct.
In that sense. So here's the small little guy wanting to fix one house. Nobody cares.
Right.
We'll give it to you for $1. You're doing us a favor, when really you can make the argument you're doing more of a favor for the city than the one guy.
Exactly. And we're not residential people. Our idea is to bring jobs back. And to do jobs, you need land, and you need a significant amount of land. So what we've been able to do, and we describe it a lot, it looks like Swiss cheese. There's a bunch of holes. So what we have to do is end up filling those holes in.
Right.
So what we've done now is almost any parcel that we redevelop, we're going to have to buy one or two other pieces to make the piece whole so that we can do big enough projects, yes.
Well, a couple more things I want to get to, and I would be remiss if I don't bring up one of the sweetest people God has ever created, and that is Jackie Joyner-Kersee.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Is working with you and putting some farms back in North St. Louis.
Yes.
Oh, the corn.
Right, the corn.
The
right.
corn, soybeans, horse corn. They actually were out there picking that by hand as when it was ready to be picked. Created a little controversy, but she's just a really, really neat lady. And she has divined, what is the name of her company?
It's called Family Roots International.
Roots International, because she's determined that in the past period of time, 30% of the farms in America were owned by African Americans or black people. And currently it's like 11.
No, it's less than 5%.
Less than 5%. And she wants people to get back to their growing roots. So she's been renting from us or leasing from us some of our vacant property to do this growing of the corn that also brought a little bit of controversy.
Which, again, what people complain about these days blows your mind. I want to spend a minute or two talking about other cities. Harlem has gone through a renovation that the likes of which people I can't even comprehend. You walk through Harlem now, what it was 20, 25 years ago. You said on the break, other cities are watching St. Louis very closely to see how this works.
That's correct. In fact, Senator McCaskill took us to Sean Donovan, the Secretary of HUD, and it was an unbelievable meeting because we don't do HUD work. And he said to us that he thinks we have the ingredient to change urban America, which was an unbelievable statement from him. And then he went on to say, this is the craziest project I've ever seen. Private money went in first. City money went in second with the TIF. State money went in third with the distressed area land assemblage tax credit. And there isn't a dime of federal money in here. And I said, yes, sir, that's why we're going to be successful.
Midge, you want to say something?
No.
Okay. What was it about Harlem? How did Harlem switch? Harlem didn't go at it looking at it with a big project. Harlem sort of did it block by block, did it not?
I'm not that familiar with Harlem because it's really an urban core with a lot different characteristics than we have. But the Harlem initiative was a dream of a particular individual that then worked from the schools and the community worked together, and it has been an unbelievable success. But it's a lot different in an urban core of New York City than what we're dealing with.
Yeah, but you walk through Harlem today.
It's totally different.
You cannot believe it.
It's totally different,
and it's so sad to drive through North St. Louis and see the destruction and see the devastation and see the old, where the old Sportsman's Park was, and to talk to older people who grew up there, who've been there, the people who live there now who are trapped in that area. It's what for 1,000 reasons it is what it is, but and not to lay blame anywhere, but you're doing something no one else has ever tried anywhere else, right? I mean, this is groundbreaking no matter what happens.
Yeah, we looked all over the country, and we did two things. The closest thing I could find to it was Stapleton out in Denver, which has been a grand success. And they took the old Stapleton Airport and regenerated it into Stapleton today. And we hired Mark Johnson, who did all the planning for that. He's in his 22nd year of dealing with Stapleton, to give you some idea. This is a journey. This isn't a sprint.
Yeah, we're just getting
that's
started.
been a grand success. So we leaned on that. The second thing we did is Americans, we tend to throw things away, including our city. So we went to Europe, and the Europeans don't do that with their cities. So we interviewed two firms in Europe, the German firm called Arup and a Danish firm called Bro Happold. We hired Bro Happold to help us define what a sustainable city of the future would look like. And that's how the basic core of our sustainability goals have come into place with their help.
Extraordinary, just extraordinary. The project is going to be billions of dollars, 20 years?
15 to 20 years, yes, and we've been at it at 11. So it's a journey. And what I would say, and I know Midge can chime in here, we welcome people to become involved.
Yes.
We're excited about our city and about the future, and we want help.
What was the lowest point for you in all of this? What was when you went home and you just said, you know what, that's a lie, that's not true, we're done? What was the lowest point for you?
I would say when we appeared on the front page of the Post-Dispatch that day, it was sort of like, I just thought to myself, what purpose does this serve? I would like to say probably it's our faith that's carried us through. And I will say at this point, and I say it everywhere I go, there are 9,000 people that live in that area. They deserve something better than, and we don't want any of them to leave. So I just think that it's all a part of our journey. I really do. I think there are times when I'm wondering, why are we doing this? But I don't think I ever thought in terms of quitting. It's not in us.
Yeah.
Not in us.
Paul McKee, Midge McKee, feel free to come back anytime. You're always welcome.
Thank you.
I'll try and criticize you in the future, but I'll have a hard time. So
You might find something.
Please, that's great.
just as long as you use R&R sanitation porta potties for all that, I don't have a problem with you. Websites to find out more, to get involved. How do people get involved?
NorthsideRegeneration.com or McKeeGoProperties.com, either one.
You got it. And then we're going to start seeing stuff later this summer, right?
I'd say late spring, early summer. Yes,
late
there's
spring,
all
early summer.
different types of projects. Yes.
We should also say on the website you've got a map of where it's all confined, but
Correct.
It's sort of, what do you call that? The near north side? Is that safe to say?
That would be the best. Yeah, we've been asked a jillion times about taking the north side out of the word, but we happen to think the north side's a good thing. 7 different nationalities entered St. Louis through the north side, so we want to embrace that history. So, we touch downtown on the south, we touch Highway 70 on the east, Natural Bridge on the north, and Grand on the west.
You started this project, and there was no idea that there was going to be a bridge.
Correct.
Where the Stan Musial Bridge is going to open up here in less than a month. What does that Stan Musial Bridge do to all of this now?
It is phenomenal. In St. Louisans, we need to wake up and go see it. It is magnificent. It's the 3rd largest free span in North America. The Veras Narrows Bridge in New York is now number 4. It's a new gateway to St. Louis like you can't believe. And when you come in and off of the bridge, you're about 75 feet up in the air, and you land and you see St. Louis from east to west,
It's a whole
which is
different
a
view.
whole different view of our city. And then we were able to work with MoDOT. MoDOT's done an incredible job, by the way. And we were able to work with them on tying it into Tucker. So now you're going to come right off that bridge and right into Tucker, and it lands right at Cass and Tucker.
So that's all. You could end up being a genius when it was all said and done.
I would just like to say, Paul made me think of it, because this has always been my piece when we're talking to people, is the agencies that we have in our city, MSD, MoDOT, Ameren, Laclede Gas, the city, have been so supportive of what's going on, and they've come together and done things that they've never done before. All that work that's going on in Highway 40, all of the gravel and dirt and everything that they've put over on 22nd Street is to fill that hole up so we can have 22nd Street on the level plane. So everybody's pitching in and doing what they can do to help us make this happen.
It's a great story. Guys, come back as needed, and we'll be happy to have you tell the story for as long as I'm on the air.
Very
you.
good. We appreciate it.
Paul McKee, Midge McKee. It's the Northside Regeneration Project, and special hour to hear all about it here. 9:52 on the Big 550.